guys, Zekon here coming to you from the Foundation server. Today I'll be talking about the Armadas feature, which is being released momentarily. I think APAC is going to get it first, so I'll definitely be doing a review on that. But for now, I kind of want to take you through a lot of the questions. I've just been flooded with questions about the game mechanics and how it works and all that. I personally have actually been quite negative about it because I believe this is probably one of the worst game mechanics. The way that it's actually being implemented is going to be one of the worst game mechanics that I've seen in some time for a rallying system. So look, we've been exposed to rally systems from the days of World of Warcraft all the way up to, I used to be a rally leader in Game of Thrones Conquest, and they headed down this exact same path, only to then realize that there's so much public outcry, and what's happening is just they can't get the system to play nice with PvE and PvP. But you know what? Let me walk you through the basics, and then I can kind of dig in areas a little bit more thoroughly and explain why I'm giving it basically a 1 out of 5 star rating here. So you will need to be an ops level of minimum 23, and once you're 23, you're going to be able to unlock something which is going to be the Armada, and I forgot what it's called here, but here we go. So you can see here that if you go to LCARS, which is a system, it's got 25,000 players plus, I believe. So you can do all sorts of, ask for help there, but you can see how much it's going to cost to research items, and how much it's going to cost to build items, what the rewards you get are, and the Armada size, which is very important. So you can see here that you actually need to upgrade to Armada 30 to be an Armada size of 5, and that's going to be the max size. You can have an Armada of 5 ships, which is kind of more of a fleet, really, not really an Armada, right? So anyway, you get a bit of bonus damage when you start that Armada if you're level 30, 31, and so on and so forth. So LCARs aside, again, very useful. You're going to be able to research, and then you need to build that Armada control center, which I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if you know that you can click these. They're probably going to be repurposed for this or something to that effect, but that's basically how it's going to work. Now, one of the important things is that there's going to be a lot of new missions, high and low, and a lot of new enemy types. So I suspect it's going to be like bases, new big bases and new big ships that you can attack together. Now, I think one of the things we're all looking forward to is, that ability to kind of go back into your missions and go, oh my god, like, why is it I need to kill this ship? It's infuriating. I really want to kill this ship. Well, maybe now, starting an Armada, you will be able to kill that ship because people can effectively loan you one of their ships. So if someone's like level 28 and they start an Armada, I can loan them my enterprise of 1.3 million, and they can have their ship, and then we can have another few ships. You can't loan more than one. If you do an Armada and you send more than one ship, only the strongest one will be used, and then the next one will be used in sequence, not simultaneously, not at the same time. So you don't want to send an Enterprise and a Saladin, and then suddenly, or whatever you have, a Kehra or whatever. So basically, you don't want to do that. You need basically 5 players to be co-op for all of that to work. Now, there are some new resources. So in the Alliance store, you're going to have Armada credits. And you see this as well in the Discord channel, where basically we see, in the actual announcement, they say there's going to be Armada credits, Armada directives, and Armada tactical cores, which you will no doubt need to effectively buy so that you can upgrade your Armada control center. Armada directives are used to start, and I'm guessing that you can buy them with Armada credits as well as a whole range of other things as well in your Alliance store that'll show up, probably related to Armadas. So that means we're having a PvE system with new missions, new bases, all new types of missions and research, minimum level 23, building, Armada Control Center. That is effectively it. But how it'll actually work, and this is the bit that really, really frustrates me. So let's say that Octo here is actually an enemy base, and we all want to gather to attack him. What you'll do is you'll click him and click go, set as target for an Armada, you'll use up some credits, and a little circle will appear next to them. And what that will basically do is effectively people can throw in their ships into this area, and once they're in, you will have a countdown of 15 minutes, and that Armada will effectively begin, make its way to Octo's base and hit it. In that time that people are forming in this area, of course it'll be a little bit bigger than the circle on the screen here, but as you're forming in this area, you're just going to see one ship at a time, right? So you're going to see one ship here appear, and then, you know, a few seconds later or a minute or two, another player might arrive. So you might be seeing this kind of thing happening a lot. And you can actually go and attack these ships. So you might actually say, hey, these guys are starting an armada. You know what, let's go kill them off because they're ahead of us in the event, or I don't want them to get ahead of us in the event, so let's go kill them off. So that could be happening. And when PvP hits, again, this is only going to be PvE right now, but when PvP does hit, again, it'll be blatantly obvious that there's ships standing next to a base. It's just like a big alert system that says, you know, shield up, or someone's unshielded. Everyone should really, you know, come in, hit these ships. And it's like it's basically giving the enemy an early warning system. Now, the reason why I hate this so much is because in so many other games, this kind of thing just doesn't fly. So let me take you through what does fly. I mean, this is basically just another example of another game that's been through the motions already. This is Game of Thrones Conquest. I used to be a rally leader on this. This is effectively your ops, and this is a Great Hall. The Great Hall, as you would expect, is kind of the equivalent of your Armada control center, where you would have rallied troops, and the more you upgrade this, the more troops you can hold, and so the more you can actually do with a rally in terms of the power, the strength that it's going to go out and hit something else. Of course, there's another ad in the middle of the thing for buying a pack, but let's just ignore that for a little bit. Okay, so say you're about to attack another base. Here's another base right next to mine. If you click on rally, you will get options, and I suspect Scopely will do that. So you can see there's 5, 10, 30, and 60 minutes, and ally limit is 5. So that's basically 5 different armies of various strengths. So typically what happens is people will send their armies, or in our case ships, to your base, and they will be located in your dock or your Great Hall, and from there, as soon as the timer hits 0, they make their way and hit the target. But what we usually do is we set the rally limit, and then as soon as it's getting to, like, say the 1 minute mark, we would just have everyone teleport to the base that's launching the raid, and you would effectively have everyone join at the very last second. Now, the reason why that's bad in PvP is because we do have limited areas of where bases can move. You have a lot of limitations in terms of how the PvP mechanic will actually work if it stays the way it is now. Now, I know there's a lot of changes, but the way it is right now, it's definitely not going to work on raids. In terms of coordinating them, mass raids, or doing any of the really fancy stuff like trying to get 4 or 5 raids going at one time, you know, all of them ending, and within the 30 seconds left of like 5 raids going, you'd have like 20-30 players moving in and actually everyone attacking a particular base, which can happen, and we did do en masse if you look it up in Game of Thrones Conquest. So there's definitely a lot of strategy and a lot that you can gain by being able to house people in your castle, let's just say, safely before going out for a rally, because you're already dealing with shields and everything else. The fact that we're going to oh, and by the way, there's a reinforcements thing here, which I have to just, you know, on a slight tangent, you can send someone like an army to support someone else and defend their base, which I really think Scopely need to do because it's absolutely awesome. So if you see someone in trouble, they forgot to shield up, we send all our ships to their base so they can just kind of keep those, and there's a building for that to upgrade as well and house more reinforcements, which is absolutely awesome. But I digress. So basically everyone sends their ships or armies to your base, which I think is how it needs to work. If they're just going to float about waiting to be killed off, then it's a dead giveaway that there's an armada brewing, and unless everyone times it absolutely perfectly, maybe jumps on Discord and gets voice going and everything, it's actually going to be extremely chaotic, if not even just not really usable. And especially that we're dealing with a mobile game, it's going to get a little bit ugly. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope it's basically just a little bit of insight into how Armadas is going to work. I know everyone else is kind of reviewing the text that has been kind of posted out, and that's great, but I just wanted to give a little bit of insight as to how and why I think certain mechanics will and won't work, how I think this can be improved already, because, you know, at the end of the day, if not for our feedback, if not for what does and doesn't work, as gamers, as players of this game, we're not exactly going to be able to, affect change. So it's up to us, the community, to actually voice what we do and don't like and make it work if we can. In any case, please do subscribe. It's immensely important. It's really important. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully I'll do some giveaways soon. And please do get on LCARS. Message me if you don't have it or if you don't know what that is. And I will see you in the second parter after Armadas has been released.